A bizarre theory about Jim Carrey being cloned has recently gone viral online. The biggest moment that fueled the Jim Carrey cloning theory happened at the César Awards in Paris. Carrey appeared at the ceremony on February 26 to receive an honorary César, one of the most prestigious awards in French cinema. During the event, he delivered an emotional acceptance speech entirely in French and was honored for his decades of work in film. But shortly after the ceremony, something strange started spreading online. A well-known drag performer and makeup artist named Alexis Stone posted images on his Instagram claiming that he had actually impersonated Jim Carrey during the ceremony. In the post, Stone shared photos of what appeared to be prosthetics, fake teeth, and a dark wig style to match Carrey's look from the event. The caption suggested the person seen at the ceremony might not have been the real Jim Carrey at all, and almost immediately the internet ran with the idea. Screenshots of the post began circulating across social media, and people started asking whether the man who appeared at the award ceremony was actually an impersonator wearing a hyper-realistic mask. But the theory quickly ran into a major problem. Organizers from the César Awards came forward and confirmed that the appearance had been planned for months. According to the ceremony's general delegate, Jim Carrey had been preparing for the event since the summer, even spending months practicing his entire speech in French. Carrey also attended the ceremony with his partner, family members, close friends, and his longtime publicist. And if you watch the footage from the event, it becomes pretty clear that the person on stage really was Jim Carrey. His voice, mannerisms, and signature facial expressions are all unmistakable, things that would be extremely difficult to reproduce under a full prosthetic mask. But by the time those explanations came out, the internet had already started running with the story. And that's how the Jim Carrey clone theory suddenly exploded online. Analyzing images from the ceremony and comparing them to older photos of Jim Carrey. Side-by-side pictures quickly started spreading across social media. Some users pointed to differences in his facial structure, skin texture, and expressions, arguing that Jim Carrey seen at the César Awards didn't look exactly like the one they remembered from earlier public appearances. And from there, the theories started multiplying. Some people suggested a much simpler explanation, that Carrey may have had Botox or other cosmetic work, which can subtly change how someone's face moves. Others argued it was simply a case of natural aging. After all, Jim Carrey is now in his 60s and appearance changes over time are completely normal. Another detail people pointed out was that Carrey's look at the ceremony was different from how he often appeared in recent years. At various points, he had worn a beard, which naturally changes the shape of someone's face. But at the awards ceremony, he appeared clean-shaven, which made his features look noticeably different. But of course, not everyone accepted those explanations. Some people online insisted that the differences were proof of something far stranger.
Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him?
Claiming that the real Jim Carrey had somehow been replaced or cloned entirely. And once that idea started spreading, the theory began to take on a life of its own across the internet.
Really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now.
The idea that Jim Carrey was somehow replaced or cloned is part of a much larger group of internet conspiracies that have circulated online for years. According to these theories, powerful organizations secretly replace celebrities with clones, lookalikes, or stand-ins. Supporters of these ideas claim this happens when a celebrity becomes too difficult to control, speaks out about certain topics, or threatens powerful interests in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
The theory largely revolves around the idea that his personality changed dramatically at a certain point in his career. People who believe the theory often point to interviews from the 2010s where Carrey spoke very differently than he did earlier in his career.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But did.
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
And according to the theory, that shift is supposed to be evidence that something strange happened behind the scenes. But before jumping to conclusions, it's important to look at what actually changed about Jim Carrey and why those changes might have happened. Jim Carrey's personality shift. To understand why Jim Carrey's name keeps appearing in these theories, it helps to look at how his public persona has changed over time. For most people, the version of Jim Carrey they remember is the one from the 1990s and early 2000s. This was the era when he became one of the biggest comedy stars in the world. Movies like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber made him famous for his incredibly energetic performances, exaggerated facial expressions, and over-the-top characters. Carrey was known for playing loud, chaotic, and wildly comedic roles that made him stand out from almost every other actor in Hollywood. But as the years went on, something about his public appearances began to change. By the time the 2010s arrived, people started noticing that Jim Carrey seemed very different in interviews. Instead of focusing on comedy or movie roles, he often talked about deeper topics like philosophy, consciousness, identity, and the nature of reality.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character.
Right.
Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Clips like this spread rapidly across social media. Some viewers thought he was joking, others thought he was expressing serious philosophical ideas. He also wasn't shy about speaking out against powerful interests as he did at the Britannia Awards in 2018.
He criticized capitalism without a conscience. And that's what we have now. We have capitalism without a conscience. He showed the common man being fed through gears of the brutal, dehumanizing industrial age. He took on the American right wing of his day, its worst evils: hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. We are fighting those same evils today. In America, in the United Kingdom, across the globe. And we need to be clear, shamelessness is not and will never be a superpower. It is the mark of a villain. Children is not what great nations do. Almost half of America at this moment believes there is a sinister deep state diabolically plotting to what? Give them health care? What is the sinister plan here? Sure, I can afford the miracle drug for restless leg syndrome. I should take the pills, I guess. We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is, or what the truth is.
For people who already believed in celebrity conspiracy theories, moments like these became something else entirely. They became evidence that something strange had happened to him. To them, this didn't sound like the same high-energy comedian they remembered from the 1990s. And that difference became a key part of the cloning theory. But there's another explanation that many people consider far more realistic, and that explanation is simply that Jim Carrey, like many artists, changed over time. The truth is, people often evolve dramatically over the course of their lives, and for someone who has spent decades in the public spotlight, those changes can become very visible. Jim Carrey has spoken openly about how fame, personal experiences, and creative exploration shaped his worldview. Over the years, he became deeply interested in painting and visual art, even releasing documentaries that explored his artistic process. He also began discussing ideas about identity, ego, and spirituality, topics that many philosophers and thinkers have explored for centuries. From his perspective, these ideas were part of a personal journey of self-reflection, but because the public mostly knew him as a loud and energetic comedian, hearing him speak in a calmer, more philosophical way surprised many people. In reality, this kind of shift isn't unusual for creative people. Actors, musicians, and writers often reinvent themselves as they get older. The version of someone that becomes famous early in their career isn't necessarily the same version of that person decades later. And when those changes happen in front of millions of viewers, they can sometimes feel dramatic. But dramatic changes don't necessarily mean something mysterious happened. More often than not, they simply reflect the normal process of growth, aging, and evolving interests. However, on the internet, those kinds of changes can sometimes take on a very different meaning. Because once a theory begins circulating online, every unusual moment can start to look like confirmation of the story. And that is exactly what happened with the Jim Carrey cloning theory. Why celebrity conspiracy theories spread? So, if there's no evidence that celebrities are being cloned, why do theories like this spread so easily online? Part of the answer is simply how the internet works. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X tend to amplify content that is dramatic, surprising, or mysterious. The more shocking a claim is, the more likely people are to click on it, share it, and discuss it. And the idea that powerful organizations might secretly replace famous celebrities definitely falls into that category. Another factor is that many people already feel skeptical about industries like Hollywood. The entertainment world can sometimes appear secretive or exclusive, and that can make people more open to unusual explanations about how it operates. When someone like Cat Williams makes a bold statement about the entertainment industry, it can reinforce that skepticism. Even if the comment was made as a joke, exaggeration, or metaphor, once it's clipped and shared online, it can take on a life of its own. There's also a psychological element to these kinds of theories. Humans are naturally good at spotting patterns. Sometimes that ability helps us understand the world, but other times it leads us to see connections that might not actually exist. If someone already believes that celebrities are being replaced, then every unusual interview, every strange quote, and every slightly different appearance can start to look like confirmation of that belief. Over time, those small observations get stitched together into a much bigger story. And once millions of people begin talking about that story online, it can start to feel much larger than it actually is. That's how theories like the Jim Carrey cloning idea can continue circulating for years, even without real evidence behind them. The internet reaction. After the Cat Williams clip started spreading online, the internet reacted exactly the way you might expect. Some people treated the whole thing as entertainment. They made jokes about celebrity clones, posted memes, and debated which celebrities would supposedly be next. Others took the discussion more seriously, arguing that there could be hidden truths about the entertainment industry that the public doesn't fully understand. And of course, many viewers simply watched the conversation out of curiosity. The story quickly became another example of how a single viral clip can ignite a massive online debate. But despite all the speculation, there's still no credible evidence that Jim Carrey or any other celebrity has ever been cloned or replaced. Most likely, the entire discussion is just the result of viral commentary, internet speculation, and people trying to interpret unusual moments from public figures. Still, the fact that millions of people are willing to debate these ideas shows something interesting about modern internet culture. Celebrity stories have always fascinated the public, but in the age of social media, those stories can spread faster than ever before. A single clip can reach millions of viewers within hours, and once a theory starts getting attention, it can quickly become part of the wider online conversation. In the case of the Jim Carrey cloning theory, what we're really seeing is the intersection of celebrity culture, viral media, and internet speculation. And that combination can produce some very strange stories. So what do you guys think? Is the Jim Carrey cloning theory just another internet myth? Or is there something behind why people believe these kinds of stories? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of viral Hollywood stories, celebrity controversies, and movie industry news, make sure to subscribe to the Discord report.